So for q is x comma x squared. The way they got the 1.5 and 2.25 was they just took the input of 1.5 and squared it because the output is x squared, and 1.5 squared is 2.25. Um, and you can do this in the calculator to get that output. You can get it to give you the output. So you go y equals, and then you put the actual function that was given in the lecture slide, or whatever function you're actually working with. So that gives you x squared. And we can look at the graph of it if we want to by hitting the graph button. Then from here, we can get a little more detailed into actually figuring out the outputs at very specific inputs. So the easiest way to do this is you press this vars button and you scroll over to y vars, and then you pick this first option. It's already highlighted. You can press enter, or because it's the first one on the list, you can press 1 and it chooses that. And we input our function into the y1 when we click this y equals button. So the calculator knows y1 right now as x squared, or in another case, whatever you put in for that the function you're working with. So if we just choose that first one, enter, pops up here, and we can just put an input in. So the x coordinate for that q that you had in question was 1.5. So what it's going to do is it's going to say evaluate the function that we input for y1 at the x value of 1.5. Just press enter, and that gives you your 2.25. And that's pretty much it. You can go look at the table if you want to, but by default it's just whole numbers. And there's a way to adjust the table by this table set here. So you go table set second, and then choose Windows for table set. So this tells you where the table starts. So if you wanted to know specifically at 1.5, you could just do 1.5, and then you could change the increments of the table. We saw it was going by increments of 1, so you could do increments of a half or whatever number you wanted actually. So let's just do increments of 0.5. Then if we go back to the table, you can see that when the input is 1.5, the output is 2.25. And you can get very specific if you change that change in the table. See how we did a half? So it's going up by a half every time. We could have done go by twos, go by quarters, whatever we wanted. But those are the two ways that you can kind of look at the inputs in relation to the outputs of functions in your graphing calculator.